There was a time when a group of energy beings taught me how to send thoughts with my mind. It's one of those types of experiences that a lot of people want to experience whilst having an out-of-body experience. Now, if that's a term that's new to you, let me explain it to you in the next minute or less. Essentially, it's the ability to leave the body at will. It's like dying, but you actually get to come back this time. You get to keep coming back. And so practitioners of astral projection can just lie there, slide out of their body, and then interact with spiritual realms, whether that be purgatory, higher vibrational realities, and or interact with those who have passed on. This morning, actually, I astral projected, and as I came to on my bed in the astral plane, I actually saw my dog, Kanan, come up beside me, and I was so happy to see. He passed away of colon cancer some years back, and so I thought he had just, progressed on through the spiritual dimensions, but no, he was still there. So I straight away, I said, Kanan, I started wrestling with him. He's a little grumpy over there, but it's one of the things you get to do with astral projection. Years ago, when I met these beings, I decided to leave my body on my bed. As I'm lying on my bed, I set the intention to seek out beings that can teach me things that I can put to good use here. You might hear some lawnmowers and what may have you. They're cutting the grass outside. Just ignore it and try to follow along with the story. So I'm lying on my bed. I'm intending to leave my body, and I set the intention to learn something by way of being taught by beings. To my surprise, I don't slide out like I usually do. No, instead I shrink really small, and I kind of fall into myself through a hole in my chest. I then show up in another plane. Now, that's what I'm used to. I'm used to materializing in another plane, and so that much was clear. And then I saw, in this vast darkness, this starfish being walking up to me. And as he's walking up to me, I notice that I can see through him. He's bioluminescent as well as transparent, just like a jellyfish. He then looks at me, and he says to me, look at my belly. Not with words, but with feeling. A feeling so precise I can make out sentences. And I start to see images. He then takes those images up his body, out through his starfish hand, and they become bubbles that float off out into the darkness. I said, where are they going? He says, they're going off into the ether to be picked up by other people. He says, matter of fact, you people do the same thing. You humans tend to think a lot, and your thoughts go off into the ethers to be picked up by each other, as well as other beings. This can be thoughts that are by way of prayers. They can be something a little less focused. Either way, your thoughts tend to leak out of you because we have this ability that we're unconsciously using. Maybe you're thinking about a friend and all of a sudden they text you or they phone you. That's not a coincidence. You're exercising this ability to send information out of your body and out into a more receptive atmosphere. So then the being looks at me, and I look at my hand, and I think to myself, what the heck? I look exactly like him. Now, this isn't something that's unfamiliar to me. I notice that whenever I astral project to a specific plane, especially if it's really far away from our own, I'll tend to take on the appearance of the inhabitancies of that plane. Well, it's lucky that I did this time because he showed me exactly how to do it. This is how you do it. Whilst I was there, I looked down at my stomach and I started thinking about memories. And as I was thinking about the memories, I looked to make sure I was doing it right, and I wheeled it up my body just like he did. Up and out of my shoulder, and it became a bubble. It was a little weak in the beginning, but I got better at it during our lesson. Whilst I was doing this, another two energy beings, starfish beings, came up beside him and decided to do the same thing. Upon returning back to my body, I noticed that I was hyper aware of the energy in my body because that's what I was dealing with in the astral projection experience. And so I decided to do it. Now I couldn't see it because I was in 3D, but I could feel my thoughts traveling up my body as I held a memory in place, bringing it up, then I just let it go. Just like that. Matter of fact, just doing that felt like I did the exact same thing. If you practice Qigong, perhaps imagine a memory. And as you're imagining a memory, locate the feeling in your body. And just treat that as if the memory is actually there, energetically. And then move with your Qigong that memory out of your body and up into the air. I guarantee you, your thoughts will travel. And if they're directed towards a specific someone, who knows, maybe they'll give you a call.